ready. It's gonna be an interesting season. Fascinating season for us fans here. All right, let's get going. Here we go. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse Live. Our first live show of the 2023-24 season. My name is George, and if this is your first time here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And if you've been here before but haven't subscribed yet, also please do so. And turn on a notification bell so you are alerted when I actually go live or I drop a new video. Keep in tune because this is going to be an incredibly exciting season. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining. It's the first live for this season. I've been off the air for a while. I dropped a couple of videos here and there over the last 3 months, but not much. So it's going to take a little while for everyone to kind of get into the room here. Let's see what's happening today. Knicks opening the season against the Boston Celtics, who are now one of the legit top two top two contenders for the Eastern Conference crown. And possibly even, it's a lot of people's pick to win it all. I have a lot to say on all those things. I'm going to break down, first I'm going to break down the actual matchup between the game, but I'm going to look at the keys to success for this team this season. Just let me know if the stream is looking good. I've been having a few slight issues here and there. Trying to check out some new software. Let's see here. How is this looking over here? All right. First and foremost, you should check out my wins prediction video that I dropped actually late last night, where I go through the schedule and I predict once again how many games the Knicks are going to win. I did this last season and I nailed it. 47 wins. I was shocked. I even got to 47 wins. I was that on the nose about it. But again, it's like to give you an idea. I believe this team, if they match the keys to success, which I'm going to lay out, I believe this team could do very, very well this season. But you know what? But they're opening against one of the two best teams in the NBA right now. Definitely one of the four best teams in the NBA, but one of the two best in the Eastern Conference, and it's the Boston Celtics. But they're doing it at MSG. The Knicks, we've done well versus the Celtics. We match up well with them. Of course, they made a big move this summer. They traded away Marcus Smart and got Kristaps Porzingis. And then they continued to make trades, and they brought in Drew Holiday via the Portland Trailblazers from the Milwaukee Bucks. When the Bucks basically added a lethal weapon, Damian Lillard themselves, which is why, even though they were already probably two of the favorites anyway in the Eastern Conference, they pushed themselves like almost another tier above. The question is, where are the Knicks in this level? But I want to begin with a few things. All right, here we go. This is like the very first season where I truly believe if everything goes right for the Knicks, enough goes right. Let's put it that way. Enough goes right. Not everything has to go right, but enough goes right. And when I say that, within the sphere of probability, enough can go right for these Knicks. And I'll break it down. The first thing is Jalen Brunson, second full season as a starting point guard for the New York Knicks. Last season was outstanding. Probably should have been an all-star. He will probably have a better season this year. That's right. So he will improve upon that. What else is happening? I hope it's all streaming okay. Just let me know if there's any streaming issues. Next is Julius Randle. There's something, he looks calmer. He looks much more content with life. I think all that work, all that Zen work he did last year and throughout the season has actually become a part of who he is now. And that is a wonderful thing. And I'm going to tell you, going to predict it right off the bat right now. there is a chance if enough goes right for the Knicks that Julius Randle could become a legit MVP candidate. That's right. You're hearing it from here. From the man who, over the years, I've requested to have him traded for many different reasons, and they were all valid, by the way. But I never doubted his talent. It was more up here and in here. Those two things seem right on point. He could end up having a career year, which is saying something, because he's already had one of the very best Knicks seasons, a seasons any Knick has ever had, ever. He may be able to improve on that. So those two things happen. This team is a legit top 4 Eastern Conference team. I don't see more than one other team pushing the Knicks out of that 4th spot. Not Cleveland, not Miami, not the Sixers. Just don't see it. If the Knicks, big 2, Brunson and Randle, both make a legit run for all-star selections. Basically, and it's totally within their wheelhouse because they are young. They're just entering their prime. Brunson's barely entering his prime. Randle's at the beginning part of his prime. I'm sensing career years here. Now, it puts a lot of pressure. Puts a lot of pressure on the coach, puts a lot of pressure on the team itself. And last season, one of the major issues was defense. The offense was there. In fact, one of the highest offensive ratings in the history of the NBA. Even though they were third best last season. I think it was overall the 4th or 5th best that's ever happened. So that just shows you scoring is not an issue for this team, especially for those starters. But it's defense. There are some weaknesses in the defensive armor, and we'll break that all down. Again, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me here. If you come up with any thoughts or whatever later on, just drop your comments in the chat later. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. There's a couple other key things, but I'm gonna go through them as we break this down. Here are the keys to success for the 2023-24 season for the New York Knicks. All right, first one, they got to stay healthy, and that's something that's totally within their wheelhouse. They are a very durable team. RJ, incredibly durable. Randle, even though he did suffer the ankle injury towards the end of the season and may have impacted him more so in the playoffs than just his regular issues with performing in the playoffs. I think the ankle may have actually really impeded him because he did have some nice moments here and there. Then, well, RJ Barrett, of course. But he's a very healthy guy. Brunson plays a lot of minutes. He's constantly hitting the floor. I'm a little concerned, but he's stocky and he's durable as well. We got some durable guys on this team, but there's also guys that are, hit the hardwood often, like Mitch Robinson. Mitch Robinson, Brunson, Josh Hart, all those guys, their butts are constantly, sliding across that hardwood floor. So let's hope that we stay healthy. That's the key, and that's the key for any team, obviously. You always have to start with that, especially in today's world. Repeat or improve, and I actually already touched upon that. Randle and Brunson need to at least repeat the performance that they gave us last season or improve upon it, and I'm telling you, I think the odds are in favor of them improving upon last season. That's right. For one, Randle's three-point shooting percentage, I think there's room for him to grow there. There's room for him to grow. He's a very good three-point shooter, and we've seen it in the past. And Brunson as well. I think Brunson needs to take a few more threes. And repeater improves. And that's, look, if we run down the rest of the roster, we got a bunch of young guys who are, it's very legitimately, you can very legitimately say they can all improve on what they have already given us, which what they've already given us has led to a second round performance. So imagine that. Imagine Grimes, RJ, Mitch Robinson, Emmanuel Quickley, even Deuce when he finally gets out there. Jericho, all those young guys improving on what they did last season. And then you have Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo and Isaiah Hartenstein, who's also a young guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. Those guys are professionals. They're hustlers, especially the Villanova boys. They're just tenacious. Josh Hart gives you everything he's got, and we are going to have him for a full season. We only had him for less than half a season last year, and the impact he made was tremendous. But now we have Dante DiVincenzo, his NCAA championship partner with Brunson. And he's going to give us that three-point shooting that consistent three-point shooting that we desperately need, especially in that second unit. And both these guys play both sides of the ball. So, in that respect, I feel very good about key number 2. Key number 3, this one is a big one. We have to tighten the perimeter defense, especially versus three-point shooting bigs in this league. And tonight we're going to see one. We're going to see two of the very best, Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford. How we perform against them is going to give us an indication of whether this team can actually win this game. If we were somehow able to keep them below their season averages, that's a win. We have to tighten that up. It also combines with this other key point, which is on the next slide, but I'll get into that. The next thing here is more steals. As a whole, the team, and I'm really looking mostly at the first unit. I'm looking because Grimes he provides a lot of that. Very active hands. His defense is outstanding, and he's able to poke the ball out, creates a lot of disruption, creates turnovers. But I want to see more steals from the big three: Brunson, Barrett, and Randall. Those three all have to, as a group together, if they could increase their steals per game by, let's say, even just one. As a group, those three, I would prefer it to be at least 1.5 per game. That is going to help a lot, especially for Jalen Brunson, because defensively, he is a liability. He is a liability defensively, and one of the ways that he can make up for that is to cause turnovers, whether that is clogging passing lanes, poking the ball out, helping out on the weak side when the offensive player has a blind side. Try to do that, but you can't overdo it because you get caught and then you're screwed. So that is a key aspect for the Knicks that's going to help with the defense overall. Now let's get to the next one here. Here we go. Now this also ties into the Titan perimeter defense versus bigs, which is solve the size issue in the second unit. We are smaller now without Obi. That is a fact, and nobody's been brought in to replace Obi. I know people say, oh, Dante DiVincenzo, but not really. He's a very different kind of player. So we are going to have to see whether Thibs can come up with some wizardry to solve this lack of size issue, whether he ends up going with RJ at the 4 for those minutes with that second unit, or whether he just goes with Jericho Sims, or he discovers a new wrinkle. We shall see. Or if it's an issue that cannot be solved, I hope that Leon Rose doesn't wait too long and he makes a move to bring in somebody there if it does become an issue. If it starts costing us games, I hope that Leon doesn't wait all the way to the trade deadline. By that point, the season is it's almost 60% done. So we must solve this lack of size issue, especially in the second unit. The next thing is, and it's probably the number one thing when it comes to this whole team itself, because in New York, there's a lot of pressure. Playing for Thibs, it's a lot of pressure. And just in general, the player's own desire to succeed can create so much pressure that it could really disrupt chemistry and disrupt people's mental preparation and attitude towards every moment. Because every moment counts right now, especially when you are a team like this that had some success last season and you want to build upon it. You don't want a regression. So maintaining composure, and I'm talking mostly to Julius Randle. But like I started out in the show saying, I really do believe he has crossed over and made that the new Zen version of himself a part of his core essence. Of course, he's still passionate. He still wants to win. He's competitive. There's going to be moments. There's going to be texts here and there. But what we don't want to see is, those chemistry disrupting outbursts, even when he's even pushing his own teammates away that are trying to help him be more composed. Now, having Jalen Brunson on this team definitely does help that. It helped him last season. So I believe that that's going to be something that's within the... See, all these keys are well within their potentiality. They don't have to like suddenly become a different kind of team to do this type of stuff. And the next one is seek out hockey assists. And that means ball movement, less dribbling, keep the ball moving. You see the teams that win, the teams that succeed, the Denvers, that's one of the reasons the Celtics didn't get there last season. The Miamis, the Denvers, they move the ball. They don't just drive, find the open guy, and then boom, it's a bucket. No, they move, they drive, they penetrate, find the open guy. That guy finds the next guy who is even more wide open. And sometimes a guy cuts, and then that guy finds that guy cutting, and then they get the easiest bucket possible, and even an and one. Keep that ball moving. More assists, more hockey assists, meaning, you don't get the credit necessarily by passing up a somewhat marginal shot for a better look for your teammate. Trust each other. You all win and lose together. That is going to be a very important thing for these Knicks. And lastly, whoever is starting at the 2 spot for this team, the Knicks, has to be a lethal 3-point sniper. Quentin Grimes looks like he's that. He showed it to us in the preseason. 7 of 12 in one game. We've seen him do it regular season. He can be one of the top 10 3-point shooters in this game. And the only way he's going to get there is if they feed him. That starting unit keeps feeding him. I don't want to see what I saw in that other game. After he shot 7 for 12, the next night, because all the starters rested except for Grimes in that first game. Then the next night, it was a back-to-back. The next night, he only got 4 shots total in the whole game. 3 shots in the first 3 quarters. That's ridiculous. For a guy who was that hot, no. His teammates need to trust him, need to look for him, make this happen. He is a key because defensively, there's no one better. No one better right now on this team. Emmanuel Quickley, I would say. Emmanuel Quickley is right there with him. We got some good defensive guards, really good defensive guards. Other than Brunson and RJ, who definitely regressed last season defensively. He regressed a lot last season defensively, especially compared to the 2 seasons before. So, but I liked what I saw from him in the playoffs defensively. It's almost like he finally realized where he can really impact in a positive way defensively. His floor positioning was smarter. He wasn't caught out of position. He fought through screens more. I liked what I saw from RJ in the playoffs defensively. So let's hope that carries through into the regular season, because that's the only way. These Knicks, it's right there for them. Atlanta looks, they look hungry. They look interesting. Indiana Pacers, with Obi and that whole squad over there, they look interesting too. If things start clicking, if someone pops here and there on other teams, somebody new could come out and make a run for this, the top 5 spots, top 6 spots. But I'm thinking this is where the continuity, carrying the continuity order from last season into this season, is really going to help these Knicks. Because several teams have a lot of, some issues to work through. Celtics, lack of Marcus Smart, and then they added Kristaps Porzingis. That's going to be something they're going to have to navigate. The Bucks as well. No Drew Holiday, but now they brought Damian Lillard. There's going to be a little while when they figure that part out. Miami lost Strus and Gabe Vincent, but now they get back Tyler Hero. They're also kind of an unknown. They didn't do well last season during the regular season. They came on strong in the playoffs, knocked off Milwaukee in the first round, which was tremendous. And then the Knicks battled them. A couple things go their way. We could have had a game 7, and who knows? Maybe the Knicks steal that game. So I'm really believing that all of these keys to success are very realistic for the Knicks right here. Stay healthy, repeat or improve upon performances, tighten up perimeter defense versus three-point bigs. That might be the biggest question mark as far as I'm concerned. More steals. I think we're going to see more steals as a whole, as a team. I think we're going to see it, but I want to see them specifically from RJ, Randall, and Barrett. I want to see more steals from those three. Again, to solve the size issue, I mentioned that. And then the Knicks, I don't know I'm predicting that they're going to get off on a 2-2 start in the first 4 games. Let's say, you count the 5th game because we play Cleveland twice back to back. Let's say we start off the first 5 games 3-2. We get off that way, which means I'm predicting a win tonight. And here's tonight's matchup. This is just the preseason stats. Got them off the web here. Knicks were not their regular stellar preseason selves as they have been in the Thibodeau era, where the first 3 years they went 3-1. This time they went 1-3. And some seasons they got off to a tremendous start. They won all 5 games, their first 5 games, and then went on a skid. I don't remember that part. Well, here. This is the matchups. This is meaningless real for the preseason, but I'll tell you, Jason Tatum, he's looking like he's ready to kind of make that move into being one of the very best players in the game. I mean, he is, but I'm talking about like those top 5 or so. He's looking like that right now. And especially his partner in crime, Jaylen Brown, picked up that big contract. Jason's next. Going to be fascinating. The major concern I have for them this year is wear and tear. They have been playing a lot of games, especially those two, their big 2, but the team itself has been playing a lot of extra games the past 5 years. They've made deep runs into the playoffs. They've gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals several times. They got to the finals. That tends to catch up to you eventually. But their main 2 guys are still young. So it's possible this is the season it all comes together for them and they make that tremendous run and Heap just pops. He averages 30 a game and they go and they win it all. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. However, it's also highly possible that the minutes catches up to them. Those extended, you play, if you go deep in the playoffs, and especially with the intensity of those games, it's almost like playing in another entire half season. It's grueling. It's very grueling, which is why it's hard to repeat. That's why it's tremendous when teams repeat. So that's how I'm looking at that. Similar situation with Milwaukee. They do suffer injuries to key guys sometimes. Middleton's pretty injury prone, has been injury prone. Brook Lopez has logged a lot of minutes throughout the years. Giannis, the way his style of play, he does tend to get hurt here and there and miss some games here and there. So we'll see. Same with Dame Lillard. So it's going to be interesting. Right there. All right. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. The game starts in about 20 minutes. I am so hyped for this season. I'm going to try to do as many shows as possible, and I will have guests on, definitely. Get Leon here. We'll get Keese and several other people. Get some new voices in here, too. It would be nice. What else? Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. How are we doing over here? Yeah, we got Gideon in the house. What's up, Gideon? Good to see you. Donald Young, Jeff San Juan. What's up, brother? Splash 1976. Eddie T. Hey, Knicks 100 AGM. What's up, brother? Yeah, we're back. Brent Plays. What's up, man? Knicks going to win 117-115. Mark my word. I love that. I would love to see that. Let's see. They was trying to destroy us. and one JV team had them dead. Tried BU end of quarter. Oh, what was that about? I'm not sure what that's referring to. All right, so I do predict the Knicks are going to win tonight. I just think like that unit, that first, especially the starting unit, is just ready to explode. They kind of like they looked disinterested in that last preseason game, and they didn't play in the previous one together except for Grimes. And the other two, what they play, 15 minutes, 18 minutes here and there. They haven't had much floor time and real game action together. Tonight will be the very first time, obviously, the opening game. But I do think that with the issues of the rumors, which are bothersome for me, and especially at the beginning of a season like this that has so much promise. Now, are we, one of the contenders for the title? No, we're not. But are we a contender for a top 5 seed in the East? Yes. Can we be one of the top 10 teams in the NBA again? Yes, I do believe all that. And that's exciting. That's exciting to me. Can this season be the season where some of those young guys really break out, even if it's just one of those guys breaks out? I think that's very possible. And if that happens, if he breaks out, either he becomes a piece that we hold on to, or he becomes the piece that lands us a big time superstar in the offseason, or even by the trade deadline. Who knows how things are going to develop, but I am worried a little bit of the external noise impacting this team. So that's one of the things they're going to have to keep together, and that goes back to maintain composure. Emmanuel Quickley, he didn't get the deal. I heard Fred Katz from The Athletic talk about that he didn't think they were even that close in terms of the numbers, because if you kind of get somewhere within the neighborhood, you kind of say, hey, let's just get it done. So for all we know, it was IQ who said, never wavered from what he was asking, whatever it was. Maybe he's asking for, $32 million a year. Just because he is the backup to Jalen Brunson doesn't mean he has to be paid like one. He is an outstanding guard who has his best years are ahead of him. How exciting is that? Runner-up, 6th man of the year. When he starts, he averages what? He averaged like 22 points a game last season, 23 points a game. He's an unbelievable resource. This Knicks team needs him desperately, especially for that second year, for the whole team itself. He plays the most fourth quarter minutes of anybody on the team. He is, basically has infinite range, but what he does defensively just cannot be truly measured. Sometimes when I watch him, sometimes he guards 3 different players. It stops them all in the same possession. And then, the ball ends up somewhere else, and it's a desperado heave to beat the shot clock. That's Emmanuel Quickley. Or he disrupts the guys he's guarding so much that he disrupts their vision, their ability to make good decisions, and then a teammate picks up a steal, like a Josh Hart, someone else who's on that second unit. So, I'm very excited about this year, man. Very excited. What's up, Jose Castillo? Good to see you, brother. What else, man? You guys have any questions? You're all so quiet. I guess you're all waiting. Is everyone nervous? Are you guys nervous? You guys nervous about this season? It is a little. I'm gonna admit it. It is a little. It can definitely kind of like. I think I'm feeling a sense of caution amongst the fan base, and myself included, because we know what's happened. We know who we have to face, and we also just had a tremendous season where we got as farther than we've gotten in over a decade, to the second round. So we kind of want that to build on that, but then we didn't make any big deals, any big trades, except for adding Dante DiVincenzo. So it definitely, I'm sensing a sense of caution on everyone's behalf. It's almost like a wait and see. Is this team going to be the team that we saw last season or better? Or Are we going to see a regression like what happened 2 years ago? Where, when we finished 3 years ago, when we finished the fourth seed, but unfortunately lost to Atlanta in the playoffs, and we won 40. I can't remember how many games we won that year. How many games did we win that year? Either way, we regressed. We only won 37 games the next season after. So I think we're all a little cautious that may happen again this year. I just highly doubt it. I highly doubt it with guys like Jalen Brunson or with all those Villanova guys. That's one. It may be also one of the reasons why Leon and Thibs wanted to basically load up on Villanova type players, because they have the mental fortitude to battle through any kind of regression. And I'm hoping that that plan works out, man. That plan works out. All right. Well, this was a quick little pregame show to set up the season, set up the matchup tonight. I ran through, in case you missed it earlier, I ran through the keys to success for the season. And I'll just summarize them again really quickly. There's 8 of them, as I see them. Stay healthy, which is something for everybody. But most importantly, it's Julius Randle. We could even lose Brunson for like 2 or 3 weeks because we have Emmanuel Quickley. We could lose RJ for a little period of time because we have Hart, Grimes, and Dante DiVincenzo. Mitch will be tough. Mitch will be tough to lose. But even if we lost Mitch for a little bit here and there, Hartenstein and Jericho Sims, he could also provide us some, at least get us through the injury. I mean, we're talking about, let's say someone is gone for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Not anything major, like a 3 month injury. That would be catastrophic, obviously. But something short like that. The next one is repeat or improve. That is basically all the young guys have to improve, and they will. I think they definitely will all improve on what they've done before. But most importantly is Brunson and Randle need to repeat or improve on what they did last season. I think they're primed for career years. I think we're going to get from those two guys. Tighten up perimeter defense versus the 3-point shooting bigs, because we're small. We have to make up for that size issue, and that's one of the other key points in the other slide. More steals from Jalen Brunson, really specifically. I want more steals from him. It would be awesome for him to be in maybe the top 15 of most steals in the NBA for the season. I would love to see that from him, because then that makes up for his lack of size, his lack of lateral mobility, where he gets beat. He gets beat definitely by bigger guards as well. So I want to see that from him. Running over and then solve size issue in the second unit. That's a Thibs project right there. Maintain composure, as I mentioned before, and seek out hockey assists. Move the ball movement. Find, just because you may have a decent look, find the guy that might have a better look. Keep that ball moving around and cut, because maybe the best play is just feeding the cutter. After the third pass, the fourth pass is feeding the cutter. Beautiful. Easy bucket. Most likely will end with an and one. That's the kind of team I'd like these Knicks to beat. Grimes. Quentin Grimes must get at least 8 3-point attempts per game. At least. Would love for him. I mean, he's really prime. I mean, if he could average 45% from the 3-point line, wow. Outstanding. Is it possible? Totally. It's totally possible for him. All right, well, the game's going to begin pretty soon. I'm going to wind this down right now. I will be doing the post-game recap, of course. Not sure I'll be going live for it. I might record it and drop it, but either way, there will be a post-game recap. I'm going to try to do all 82 games. All 82. Yes. And hopefully, by the end of that, 82, the Knicks will have won 51 games. 51 games. But I could only predict 49 wins, because 3 games are not scheduled due to the in-season tournament. So of the 79 games that I looked at, the Knicks could win 49 of those. So there's 3 more wins out there as possible. Even if they got 1, they get to that 50. They get to that 50. That's what we want. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so hyped for this team. I'm excited. I'm excited because it's a wonderful mix of, acquisitions, key acquisitions. Jalen Brunson, tremendous acquisitions for this team. Isaiah Hartenstein, excellent acquisition for that second unit. Great backup. But guys like Mitch, who've been around this team for a while. RJ, been around for a while. Our own draft picks, they're growing. They're developing. Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes. These are all guys drafted by the Knicks. And then you have Julius Randle, someone who teams had kind of given up on. New Orleans, Lakers had given up on him. He came to the Knicks, put a lot of pressure on himself for that first contract. Didn't quite perform that well. Then he came in that next season, his first Thibs season, exploded. Became All-NBA. All-NBA. Fantastic. And his first All-Star selection. And so it's nice that he wasn't that before he came here. He developed that into that while being here. And then last season, one of the greatest statistical seasons a Knick has ever had. So that's exciting. It's exciting to see our guys growing and developing. I just want to see that next evolution. It's a little too much dribbling with this team, a little too much ISO. Want to see the movement, because that's where you really go from being a team that's competent, that can win, to a team who can really dominate. That's what I'm hoping to see. All right. Hey, I see Drew Reviews. What's up? R&B Killer. What's up, man? Yes, let's do away with the bing bong this season. Don't want any bing bong. I want actual win-wins. That's what I want, man. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. If you're watching this on replay, just drop your comments. Read them all. I really appreciate them. And hit that thumbs up button for me. And subscribe if you haven't yet. And turn on the notification bell. This could be a very exciting season. Very exciting season. In fact, I'm predicting it is. No doubt. And check out the my wins prediction video. You can see all the games, how I looked at them, and I broke it down. It's pretty interesting. I had a lot of fun doing it. All righty. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.